Hello and welcome to this week's YouTube vlog from Barton All Burner Services, and I hope we're all okay. Thanks for all the comments last week, they were brilliant. We had a bit of a laugh at some of them, so it's fantastic. And obviously thanks for all the extra people that subscribed. We're like only just over 20 short of 1,000 subscribers now, which is like, well, it's unbelievable. Thank you so much, everyone. We didn't even think we was going to get 100 subscribers, that are nearly 1,000. So yeah, really good. So what we've been up to this week, we had some sad news. Unfortunately, my two sons, Ryan and Ben, they lost their grandmother, or one of their grandmothers, because my mother's still alive, which was exceptionally sad. So yeah, I'm sorry boys that's happened, and I really hope you start to get back on track soon. Yeah, terrible news. And then to top it off, my sister's been ill this week in the office, and I had to take a day off, which is unheard of because I was ill as well. So great, we've had a fantastic week. But never mind, we're all up and running again now. And what am I going to do this week in the vlog? I'm going to take you to a Sapphire. So the Sapphire, as you know, we rave about. We think they're a brilliant boiler. We think they're an absolute game changer. They modulate, i.e. rev up and down to the demands of the system. And in my opinion, they're the future of oil. They are brilliant. However, like any boiler, doesn't matter how good it is, unfortunately you get them break down sometimes. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take you to a Sapphire that's broken down. But yeah, just for fun, I thought I'd show you a bit of a strip down on one, and if you were to ever service one, then obviously how to do that, etc. as well. And I can't recommend enough, everyone, that the Sapphire boiler, you can't just do them. You have to have like a little tablet thing to set them up with. So you need to go on the course of that first. But they are a really good boiler, so please just crack on, get on that course, go and have some fun with them. Go see the boys at EOGB, Reese, Martin, all them. They're absolutely fantastic, and get cracking with them. Anyway, I'm going to stop going on. Let's crack on with this Sapphire breakdown, and let's get on with this week's YouTube vlog. Here it is. So I've pulled the top and the front cover off, and all we've got here is a little bit of red flash in there from your cell that detects the light, flicker cell style thing. And then obviously we've got here EO2. Okay, that means it's had a burner failure, i.e. hasn't ignited for some reason. So I'm going to do a quick strip down with you of the Sapphire modulating boiler, and then you can understand a bit more about it and where we're going. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the power off like so. I'm going to pull the two plugs, 1, 2, and then on here, here's your nozzle assembly here. I'm just going to undo the small Allen key that's just there. So we're going to nip it up, undo it like so. And you can just literally lift, get hold of the assembly, and you pull like so. Boom, nozzle. Nice and straightforward, that easy. So the best thing about these is you have a clip, just so. At the moment, I'll clip it into here. Like so, it's out the way. Now I'm going to disconnect the HT leads, 1, 2 off the electrodes that sit there. Okay, once I've done that, I'm just going to pop out the old cell here, like so, and then I'm going to undo 1, 2 here, and I'm going to take the transformer assembly, etc. out of the way. These just need to be loosened for a start. Take note here as well, you can see there's an air pipe here, detects your air for the burner. There's two sort of places it can go, but it goes on the lower one, so I'm just going to pop that off. Okay, just get back a little bit, and we should just be able to pull this off. And then it flicks out, comes out the front like so. And there you go, it's all as one assembly. Okay, how easy is that? We're going to lay that down gently, and we're going to check for things like bubbles in the transformer, which it hasn't got, so we know all that's okay. All right, so that's where we are there. We're just left with the fan assembly here, and obviously behind here is where all your nozzle parts are and stuff like that, i.e. the cones and stuff like that to spring behind there. So I'm just going to undo 1, 2, and then fully undo them too, and I'm going to withdraw it all. I've withdrawn the 4 Allen key bolts, and I'm very gently gonna, it's some sort of sprung loaded look, I'm just going to pop it back very gently, and there we go. We have the cone along with a spring from the burner fan. The air goes in, round and through, and then into here. So the next thing I'm going to do is just stick my little torch through there and have a look to see what the electrodes are like. So I'm just going to get my torch and put it inside here. And you can see the electrodes are fine. Good gap in. They're absolutely fine. Okay, but what I do notice is they said about a bang and a backfire. I do believe that the looks like the blast tube might have come off. Now this did happen once before on this, so this is the second time. So actually I do know about this. I have got another blast tube for it. I've fitted nearly 30 of these boilers now. Okay, this is the first one that's done it, so don't think they all do it, because they don't. It's a rarity for this to happen. So the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to undo 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 10mm nuts here, and I'm going to pull the next section off, the combustion chamber lid, and we're going to have a little look inside, and I'm going to show you what's there. I've undone the 10mm here, and I've put a little mark at the top, look, so we know that is the way round that the front cover goes, because obviously your electrode position, if you was to put it round one, then things don't quite line up properly when you come to put it back together. So I'm just going to undo this and now pop it off. Okay, now this has come back without the blast tube. Okay, it's sort of come in half, and also it's left the gasket behind. It doesn't always leave the gasket behind, but on this occasion it has. So just to be doubly sure, we're going to put a little mark on there. Just got to put a pen lid on. I think I've drawn on my tooth. Right, okay, and here we go. Very gently take this off. It is quite delicate. Obviously you can buy all the spares if you're Sapphire agent from EOGB. Okay, and there we go. Voila, blast tube. We don't know why this one's come off before. We didn't think it's going to come off again, because what they actually do, I'll show you here, is they're designed just to go on like so and twist on and stay there. But for some reason this one keeps coming undone, and we don't know why. Hence I'm going to put a new one on. Ta-da! New one. Okay, so just for people, if they're going to service these boilers, normally this blast tube's on. The next stage you would do would be to come into here, the combustion chamber. It's got a fixed baffle in there. You don't remove baffles and stuff like that. This is just over a year old. It's due for service actually, so it's been running okay. And what you would do is at the bottom here, you've got your condense strap here. You just take that off. I put an adapted hose pipe on there to outside. And once I've cleaned inside here and hoovered what I can, I basically get some hot soapy water and just chuck it in the top, and it washes all through, and it's absolutely immaculate. Okay, and then just put it back together. That is how easy it is to clean a Sapphire boiler. Game changer, just so easy. Everything's just very easy to get to, and as you can tell, it's simple to strip. So I'm just going to undo, get rid of my torch. 1, 2, 3 and 4, and I'm going to take the blast tube off, and I'll show you the electrodes from this side. So I've removed the final part, as you can see, because obviously it's separated. And there's your electrodes. So there's a nice gap on them electrodes. They look lovely. They look in really good condition. Okay, and there's your 4 bolts that are left here behind. Just loosened them slightly. When you get the new blast tube, that's obviously, you can see there where the electrodes line up here. There you go. And that hole there is obviously where it reads and detects the light or the flicker coming from the boiler. So we're just going to stick that on there. Give it a bit of a fiddle. There we go. So you push it on, spin it around, and I'm just going to do the 4 bolts up again. Look, all nice and shiny and new. Looks great, doesn't it? For them who don't know how blue flame work, I've just popped the cone back in the back here, and the nozzle would obviously go in where the hole is. As the air comes from the air fan, it comes through here, up, and then comes through these holes here. As it comes through the hole, it causes the air to do that and swirl. It then comes inside, and then obviously the boiler fires. You've got a flame that comes out, and then the gases sort of come around and get sucked in again through these slits, which is obviously causes the venturi. That then allows you to have a slightly blue flame here with a glowing tube. It's red hot. Okay, and that's basically how a blue flame works. You have your blue flow on the end, or blue glow on the end either, followed by a really red hot blast tube, and that's how you get your efficiency out of it. Not exactly like that, but I'm telling you the basics of it. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm not cleaning it because I'm not here to service it. That's booked for, I think it's a month's time. We're going to put this back onto here because it's easier. Okay, we're going to obviously line up. As you can see, we've got our arrow there. I just need to line this one up that I've got on here. Like so. And then I'm going to pop that back in there again and I'll be back to you. Okay, I've put that back on. Obviously, it's loose at the minute. When you do the nuts, you've got to do opposites like I do a lot of my stuff. So I'm just going to put one on the bottom. And then we're going to go one at the top. I'm going to do them up. What I use is a Wearer 10mm nut driver because you can't over tighten them because these do not have to be tight. Okay, so for me, when that's done up, nip. Do it up, nip. That's tight enough. Don't come undone. You don't need to have many tighter than that. We'll get on the next ones. One, two. Been listening to the old radio. Very sad about Stevie Wright passing away. Very sad news. Okay, so here we go. 1, 2, 3. 4. That is tight enough. The next thing I'm going to do is that other way here. Check the spring I know is in position. I then get the cone. There's 2 different size cones. This is the larger one for the slightly larger output. They do one the next size down, very slightly smaller hole, and that's for the smaller output. Okay, we're going to pop that in there, and then I'm going to pick this assembly up, and that is going to end up in there. I'm going to line it up like so, and then I'm going to put my 4 Allen keys back in. I'd like to show you as I'm doing it, but I can't hold the camera, it's a bit two-handed, so I'll be back in a sec. Okay, so it's back on. They're not tight yet, the Allen keys. They're just nipped gently. These 2 have been left undone because we need to put this assembly back on here. So I'm just going to flick the wire over. We're just going to pop it back in place. Quite straightforward to do. Simple as that. Okay, so I'm just going to do them all up now. So I'm going to do these first. Got to be gentle so it goes in and doesn't slip out the way. Like that. Okay, so I'm going to do this one first, nip, then opposites again, nip, down here, nip, and up the top, nip. Okay, that's it, all together. All I've got now is the nozzles put back in. There is gaskets under here. They were okay. Don't need to show you them because I'm not here for that. But I have inspected them as I've gone along and they're fine. Stick the HT leads back on. As you know, I checked the electrodes. They're all okay as well, which is good. Blue flame electrodes tend not to last as long as normal ones. They have a lot of heat on them, but these are fine. And I don't know if you're familiar with these, but you've got a pump attached to a motor on these at the back, look. And here's an adjuster here, so they automatically adjust the fuel pressure 5 to 20 bar, so it's hell of a difference when they modulate. It sort of decides as it goes along, and obviously I set it all up with the machine that's in there as well. Okay, so next thing, I'm going to put the nozzle back in. I only changed this the other day, so I'm not going to do it again when I was here last time. Okay, but just for everyone out there, you look really clever, well done EOGB. You can put the nozzle in there, it holds it like so, like that. Get your spanner on there, it undoes. Fantastic idea. Okay, so I'm just going to clean that up because it's a bit dirty. I'm not going to touch the end of the nozzle. Then I'm going to stick that back in there again and away we go. Okay, it's back in. Okay, I've just got to nip that up there now. Okay. Nip, that's it. That's all you have to do. It's enough to hold it. Okay. Pop in the old cell. Like so, voila. So we're all back together, everything's back, air pressure pipes on as well, we're ready to go. I've just pressed a little reset in there and we're on 15 degrees, so we're just going to wait. Here we go. Takes about 10 seconds, just revving up now. We should get a click and hopefully a fire. And there we go. Okay, so we've got quite a steady LED there, just say it's a good steady flame on there as well. I'm going to turn it off before we go any further. Okay, don't want it to get hot and overheat anything. I'm going to stick my machine on and I'm going to do the setup from there. So I've just plugged the machine in here. Nozzle assemblies on these, there's a thread. When this is done up between the nut and the end here, there's threads there. I'll stick them on, so there's about 4 to 5 threads to start with before I fire it up. So I'm just going to turn it on. Clearly you need this machine from EOGB, so you need to do the course and I really highly advise you do it. And yeah, I'm pleased with this one because it's the number 29, so in the early days, as they say. I'm going to stick it on. First thing I'm going to do, once the system's loaded, is I'm going to hit the EOGB button. I'm then going to go next. It's just showing me all the different pressures, all the pump pressures and fan speeds and stuff like that, and what I set them at originally. Okay, so I'm just going to flick through them. My initial pump pressure of 15 bar. I haven't been here for nearly a year, so I've learned that actually it can be less than that now, so I'll be setting it at that. So we'll be going down to 12, and then we're going to go next. It's a non-combi boiler, as we know. The central heating will sit at 60 on here, so it's fine. It'll go a bit higher than that. And here we go, we're in the main screen. So we are going to start this at 12 bar, and we're going to go about 44 to 46. We're going to hit start. And then with a bit of luck, it's a good starting point, this, to get it going. And there we go. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to increase the bars and the fan speed at the same time, so I can get it up to the maximum of 20 bar. I need to take my gloves off, really, that'd be helpful. Okay, so I'm going to let that warm up for a few minutes, and I'm going to get my kit and we're going to stick her in and see what we got. So the machine's in, I've got it at 20 bar pump pressure and the fan speed is at 65%, as you can see there. Okay, over to my machine. As you can see, it's just sorting itself out at the moment. Okay, the CO2 is 13.5 and the O2 is 2.7. That, at the moment, the CO2 is a bit high and the O2 is a bit low. So on the fan speed, I'm going to put that from 65 to 66. And then it's going to wait. And what you'll see is the CO2 will drop slightly and the O2 will go up a bit. The fluid temperature is quite cold at the moment, so in a perfect world I could do this being a bit warmer, so yeah. And there we go. So I'm just going to press set, go down to 19, drop it 1 on the fan speed, and then wait and we go again. And we're there. And press set, go down to 18, 1 or 2 on the fan speed, and we go again. A bit slower than I'm doing it, so I will do it again in a second, but I'm just giving you the overview of it. And we go all the way from 20 bar right down to 5 bar. But when you get under sort of 8 or 9 bar, you need to make it a little bit weaker, okay? So you're ending up at sort of 11.5%. If you don't do that, then what happens is the fluid tends to vibrate a little bit. So yeah, don't get caught out with that one. Once you've done that, you then press at the back on here, you go back a screen, and then you press save. But I'll just do all of this first quickly, and I'll be back. So we're all set. I'm just going to press back, save and finish. It's just showing the system fault from earlier when it went wrong, so I'll just press the reset, and away it goes, and that will just fire. Plug this back in, obviously, put the boiler back together. One happy customer. There we go, she's purring. I love seeing an install. We've done all the bits and bobs up there, look. I love it. It works seamlessly, this boiler. Absolutely fantastic boiler. Oh well, better move on a bit. That is this week's YouTube vlog. Tick, done, from Barton Burner Services, and as always, I hope you enjoyed it. So yeah, we have done Sapphire stuff before, as you know, installs and stuff like that, but we've never really stripped one down. So I just figured you can see what they're like inside, how you set them up properly, and obviously take them apart, etc, etc. And yeah, they are a brilliant boiler. I don't plug anything. I fit Grants and HRM wall stars just the same, but we are fitting more and more Sapphires, and I encourage everyone just to get on the course, have a go, because they are brilliant. I know some installers may be put off because they love what I call a plug and play. You just fit them, plumb them up, turn them on and they run, where with the Sapphire there's a bit more setting up. But once you get your head round it, they're absolutely easy to do. And then of course later on they're absolutely easy to service, and they're an absolute game changer, especially if the hydro treated vegetable oil comes out. Absolutely brilliant. And as I say, we can't say enough how much we love them. So yeah, get down to EOGB, speak to Reese and the guys. They're really good at their training. They'll tell you everything about them, and I think when you come away from there you'll think what a great product it is. And you know, as we've said before, 25-year guarantee on a heat exchanger, can't beat it. You know, it's titanium grade stainless steel, can't beat that really, can you? Anyway, feel free to comment as always. Subscribe would be fantastic. As I said earlier, we're only just over 20 short of 1,000, which is very overwhelming for us, so please subscribe. To hit 1,000 this week would be like, well, a dream. It'd be fantastic. So have a great weekend everybody. Until next time, stay safe.